Florida Real Estate Actual Exam Questions. A sales associate was issued a citation for failing to timely notify the commission of her change of address. How many days does the licensee have to either pay the citation or file an objection to the alleged violation? 30 days. Pam's home has an assessed value of $301,000. She qualifies for the Florida homestead exemption. The area she lives in has the following taxes: county tax rate is 8.6 mils, city tax rate is 4 mils, and the school district tax rate is 6.1 mils. How much will the property taxes be? Section 18 Slide 31, $301,000 to $50,000 equals $251,000 x.0126, 8.6 mils plus 4 mils equals 12.6 mils, equals $3,162.60, $301,000, $25,000 equals $276,000 x.0061, 6.1 mils, equals $1,683.60, $3, 162.60 plus $1,683.60 equals $4,846.20. What are the similarities between a business brokerage and a real estate brokerage? 1. Both deal with real property. 2. Both require a real estate license. 3. Both involve long-term liabilities. A rental investment property is scheduled to close on September 10th. The buyer gets day of closing. The rent is $1,900. How much is debited and / or credited at closing and to whom? $1,330 credit to buyer and $1,330 debit to seller. Section 14, Slide 63. There are 30 days in September, so there are 21 days that the seller owes the buyer including the day of closing. Divide $1,900 by 30 equals 63.3333333333 x 21 days equals $1,330. A home was purchased with a down payment of $36,000 and a loan of $200,000 at 6.5% for 30 years. Monthly payments are $1,264.14. What is the loan-to-value ratio? Section 12 Slide 52. $36,000 plus $200,000 equals $236,000 purchase price. $200,000 / $236,000 equals 0.847457627 or 85% rounded. In case of breach by the buyer, most real estate contracts include a provision that the earnest money be regarded as liquidated damages to the seller, which is an example of a functional obsolescence. 1 car garage. A tenant signs a lease for less than a year. What is his interest in the property? Leasehold estate. To substitute a borrower in a mortgage with another borrower is called assignment of mortgage. An active Florida broker accompanies her husband when he goes on active military duty in Ohio for 5 years. She is not active in real estate in Ohio. Upon their return to Florida, she need not complete any continuing education or reactivation education for those 5 years and for up to 2 years after honorable discharge. Effective age means how old the building or house appears to be. The indestructibility of land refers to durability. If religion is a protected class under the Fair Housing Act, how can a church restrict the renting of homes to only members of their church? Churches and private clubs are exempt as long as they do not discriminate in accepting membership. Which statement is associated only with the transaction-broker relationship? The customer is not responsible for the acts of the licensee. You are appraising a 5-year-old home. If the livable square footage is $3,500 with a cost of $95 to replace according to a cost estimating service and the 400 square foot garage can be replaced at $60 a SQ foot, calculate the reproduction cost of the structure. $356,500, Section 16 Slide 89, 95 x 3,500 equals $332,500, $60 x 400 equals $24,000, $332,500 plus $24,000 equals $356,500. Which tenancy has right of survivorship? Joint tenancy. What section is directly below Section 7 in a township? 18. Compensatory damages are the amount of money equal to the extent of loss awarded to the damaged party when there has been a breach of contract. Buyer Ralph didn't like the results of an inspection report. He requested to cancel his contract and demanded his earnest money back. Seller Heather denied his request, noting that he was 1 day past the time that was allotted to cancel the contract. Buyer Ralph claimed seller Heather was miscounting the dates, and both demanded that broker Smith return the money to each of them. Broker Smith waited 15 days, hoping the situation would resolve, before notifying FREC of the conflicting demands. How long does broker Smith have left to implement a settlement procedure? 15 days. Sales agent Sam, employed by XYZ Realty, has a house listed for sale for seller Tom. He is working as a single agent. Broker associate Cliff, also employed by XYZ Realty, brings a contract from his buyer Sue for Tom's property. What must agent Sam have signed to allow both Tom and Sue be represented by XYZ Realty? Consent transition to transaction broker notice. The period of time during which the terms of a contract may be enforced according to the statute of limitations are 5 years for written contracts and 4 years for parole contracts. It is unlawful for a real estate licensee to prepare an appraisal under which circumstance. For a transaction involving a federally regulated transaction, which person is not exempt from licensure? Attorney who charges a fee to negotiate a real estate contract for a client. Satisfaction of mortgage is also known as release of mortgage. A sales associate received an earnest money deposit on Tuesday. The sales associate forgot about the check and gave it late to his broker on Thursday. By when must the broker make the deposit? By the end of the day Friday. You own a residential investment property that was purchased at $291,000. The land associated is valued at $73,000. Using the IRS straight line method, which statement is correct? The depreciable basis will be $218,000 depreciated over 27.5 years. Janice Rainey wants to open a brokerage office operating as Crate Home Realty. She is preparing the sign to be placed by the front entrance. What information does the sign not need to state? The name of the sales associates working under her. What interest does a son hold in property, if the mother held a life estate inherited from her spouse, with the son inheriting upon her death? Remainder estate. When vacancy and collection losses are deducted from annual potential gross income and income from other sources is added, the result is called effective gross income. What are the elements of a valid contract? Contractual capacity of the parties, offer and acceptance, legality of object, and consideration.